Ann, how nice to see you. Let me start by thanking you for your friendship and for your long-standing support of Research America. It's especially meaningful to our board and to everyone in our organization and our alliance that you are the benefactor of the John Edward Porter Legacy Award. John's advocacy for medical and public health research and progress is nothing short of visionary, as you know. His principled leadership in Congress and his vision and commitment as chair and chair emeritus of Research America exemplifies the qualities that this legacy award is all about. One of those qualities is walking the talk, engaging, being an activist. That's something that you and John have in common, a spirit of service and a lifetime commitment to action. One of my favorite John Porter quotes is this one, quote, "You can change the image of things to come, but you can't do it sitting on your hands." That maxim sounds as much like you as it does like John, and your personal engagement as well as your philanthropy has saved lives in the U.S. and around the globe. I know that you and John share a great deal in common, including a commitment to advancing pediatric medicine. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, thank you, Mary. When I started working as a nurse way back when, it's been about 50 years ago, children were treated in adult hospitals primarily, and they were seen by adult physicians and adult specialists. And that was not the best way to treat kids. Children are not small adults, as we know. Their needs are very different. Their responses to medications are very different. And we just needed a better way to treat them. One of the big problems was we weren't producing enough pediatricians to really practice pediatric medicine as it should have been practiced. So things changed in 1999 for the better for freestanding children's hospitals. I heard that term quite a bit, freestanding children's hospitals, and I finally asked someone to explain to me exactly what that meant. And it means a hospital that treats children, obviously, and is not affiliated with a larger hospital system. It's a self-governing hospital with its own board, and pediatricians report directly to the board of directors. It turns out that of the 5 highest rated children's hospitals in the US, all of them are freestanding children's hospitals. It doesn't mean that they don't have an academic affiliation. For instance, Boston Children's has an affiliation with Harvard Medical School. Children's National in DC has an affiliation with Georgetown University. So they do have an academic side, but they're still freestanding. What happened to benefit those hospitals was quite interesting, and I now finally understand it. But I'm going to divert to reading an email that I received from a now former head of a freestanding children's hospital, one of those top children's hospitals in the country. He says, "John Porter is considered by many of my colleagues to be the godfather of CHGME, which is the Children's Hospital Graduate Medical Education Program. He was the driving force behind its authorization and the appropriations that funded it. As you know, the government for decades has recognized the public good associated with supporting the cost of training physicians. Hospital costs for training physicians for years has been supported by Medicare. However, children's hospitals don't get Medicare funds because they don't treat adults. Thus, they can't access these dollars, which was an unintended consequence of the whole way the system was originally set up. So, after the passage of the CHGME legislation, independent children's hospitals now get funds from the U.S. government to train over 33% of all general pediatricians, 66% of all specialists, and they conduct the vast majority of the NIH research for children. The CHGME program provided independent children's hospitals initially with new funding equal to about 66% of what Medicaid was paying to the adult hospitals, and it's now up to 80%. And he closes with the words, "It simply would not have happened without John Porter's leadership." This is a small portion of John's legacy. As we all know, he's done wonderful things, but it's a pretty large leap for children who are ill.
And that's an important story for all of us to take to heart. And I know you have. It's ways, including the Children's Hospital in Chicago that bears your name. And I know how much of your life and your philanthropy you have given that wonderful place. I've been fortunate to visit it, and I know John has been as well. We need more champions like John Porter. We need more champions like Ann Lurie. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being part of the Research America family. And for all you do, Ann, I salute you.
Thanks so much, Mary. Take care.